Hello, this is Spencer Joseph Barrett speaking to you from Bend. I just hiked over from Eugene once again. It's kind of a part of my half-hearted industry. I was going to say industry. So the update is, how do you guys not know we're on World War III? World War III. So in World War II, we established, after it ended, the United Nations and universal human rights. So we're not trying to speak when I don't have listeners. Very bad listeners all around, trying to put me in boxes, changing things up. So we'll have to get back to the script. The script. Always stick to the script. No free ball in it. The thing is, why don't you guys care that we're on World War III? World War III. Why don't you guys care? We could have universal housing. We could have collective, initiatives that take care of everybody. We've known about this for so long, but when I put up the financial statistics and economic analysis, and me as a conscientious objector to the current economy, which is layered with human rights abuses. But for some reason, that's hard for you guys to just read and understand and put together. You need an actor. You need someone else. I'm not an actor. I don't like acting. But some of you guys do, so I'll write scripts for you to do it. Okay, I don't like being in front of the screen. I had, weird father who would videotape me but not actually, care about being a doctor. Anyways, I'm going way off. I gotta fucking start again. We were supposed to talk about World War III and the fact that nobody cares, that we're in World War III, that we don't have human rights, that, all this progress is... Basically, these are the two sides in World War III. Those who stand for human rights and universal housing and taking care of humans' basic needs and healthcare and just affirming life matters. And then we have those who don't think life matters. And they don't want people to have universal healthcare, and they want to take away human rights from people. So that's World War III. It's mostly multinational corporations, MNCs. They're doing more damage than most countries. So you have huge companies that are at war with the citizens, because if the citizens wake up to their collective potential, it's going to put the monopolies out of business. The collective will be the monopoly. That's how it should always be. But instead, we got a bunch of other monopolies who are destroying things. So it's hard to talk to people who aren't good listeners, but this should be really exciting. Why does it get turned into something that's bad? I was always dreaming of and excited for the future. I was like, look at all this potential when I was younger. Had a lot of hope. And then you try to relay that to other people, and they're like, oh, it's work, or it's change, or it's something. And no, it's literally taking care of your citizens and your brothers and sisters, Stop thinking people are just axe murderers and psychopaths, The military should have Red Cross tents for all the homeless. The military shouldn't be hiding from its own citizens. Why are you guys making war with the homeless? Why are you guys disrespecting on homeless, calling them selfish when they're doing less damage than you guys are doing? Why have you guys created your own enemies? Why haven't you acknowledged human rights? Because your communication systems. We don't have a communication system. The monopolies control it. We can't all talk about something important. Some people just want to be emotional. I like being logical. But certain people who've hurt me in the past, family that don't care about my wrongful death that I filed, who don't care about those details, have just started demonizing me and putting me back in a childish position. Anytime you put someone in a box, it'll help people with more placid, open-minded brains, I don't know, might fall into it. So it's just best, it's too much for you guys to understand. Already 4 minutes to upload this. I didn't even cover all the topics. I said World War III is about recognizing, establishing human rights. World War II established them, but then somehow we forgot those who believe in human rights versus those who profit from denying them. So, universal housing with Earth First based models, which are so practical, easy, desirable. We live in a time of feudal lords, like medieval times. They're just called property and landowners. They have more power, more rights than you, and they just want you to join their slave train, which is just get a job so you can pay for rent, which disappears and goes nowhere except to your feudal lord, your king of the region, your property owner, you know. So as conscientious objectors to this and multiple human rights abuses in our economy and damage to our environment, we try to say, stop hoarding the resources. Elon Musk is a white supremacist. We don't need him to go to Mars. We can collectively establish our own SpaceX, be 10 times better. It's called NASA, or we could call it something else. But, you know, talking faster than people are willing to listen. Sometimes I'm just like, why are you even trying to listen? Stop even trying to listen if you're not going to really listen. But, yeah, we could literally end poverty and crime. You know, cops think they're doing a good job by abusing people, and it's just disgusting. You know, the conditions which they put people in, try putting a kid in those positions. Oh, they're not kids. We're all kids deep down at heart. When do you stop becoming a kid? When someone hurts you so bad that you stop dreaming? How are we not all kids deep down? You know, we have age limits, cognitive development timelines. We say this person's supposed to be mature at this point. No, we're all children. We're all babies. We all came from two, you know, there might be some anomaly, but I would try not to give universals or ultimatums, but there are some universals, you know, that are important. Yeah, this is a long video. Nobody cares to watch it anyways. It should be exciting, but for some reason getting put in boxes. Family doesn't give a shit about my wrongful death complaint. Filed that before anything, you know. They can make up whatever opinions they want about me, but they're literally complicit in genocide just by their very job and the fact that they sit in land and houses and don't do anything to help their fellows. So, you know, stop hoarding the resources. We could end poverty and crime just by having universal housing and making sure people have good self-health care. Because when you're really healthy, you don't, your sickness and your pain and suffering, you don't lash out. That's how you end crime and poverty. It's by meeting their basic needs. That's like a true compassionate, you know, guardian or government that we would want. That's what we're looking for, and that's what's possible, and it should be exciting. But just talking about it, I know people don't believe because their children, their inner child has been so damaged. They're just like, well, why should I listen to you? Why not? Just tell people the same stuff. This is logic. You can't deny this. But people have been for years and years and years because, you know, either they're stupid, don't have an education, or they're specifically being evil, you know, intentionally, and they own huge corporations and they're just trying to make, you know, media stunts, which Trump and Elon Musk do all the time. With that much money, they create their own news stories. They defame people. They don't look good at human nature. They're trying to squander for themselves and fly away on a spaceship, you know, to do whatever. Anyways, lots of excitement, lots of potential. We'll see. We'll just upload that. 8 minutes. Jesus Christ.